Hey everyone, it's Asa, and welcome to my video on Yordle in set 16. This was the fifth game I played during the playtest. Um, this trait is a very straightforward and easy to play reroll trait. I think it's quite fun. You get a lot of extra resources in order to get a lot of golden units. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm not going to talk too much about the new set 16 mechanics. I will introduce them briefly, but if you want to hear more about what I think about them, check out my video on Bilgewater, which was the second game and the first video I recorded for set 16. But yeah, here I decided to just take Prismatic Destiny. I'll just see where it takes me. I was not committed to Yordle at all at this point, but now I have a decent amount of Yordles, two Rumbles, a Lulu, so I decided, you know what, let's just try this trade out, put in my team planner, put all these things in. Real briefly, I'll talk about the unlock condition, which the new set mechanic, again, not going to go into super much details about it, but for example, to unlock Poppy, you just field a Yordle with two items equipped, and then you will get a guaranteed Poppy in your next shop, and then you'll be able to see your Poppies in future shops, which you normally would not be able to. So components count as items, so I put this Radiant Shojin, which I decided to just keep. I feel like it's a pretty nice high roll from the random Radiant, and I got the Poppy right away. Guaranteed Poppy in my next shop. I thought about playing 4 Yordle here, which does give some econ benefits, but I decided to stick with the Jarvan 2, which is just a stronger board. I played the Kog'Maw for Arcanist as well. There's no point in playing 3 Yordle for now, basically. I'd rather activate a trait for my Lulu. Um, yeah, here I have Pandora's items, so just generally thinking of taking the most expensive thing on Carousel. But here's the Yordle traits. 2 Yordles basically is just combat power, and 3-star Yordles grants more, so you can kind of scale throughout the game. By every single time you 3-star Yordle, your entire board gets stronger. At 4 Yordle, you start getting some econ. This is not technically giving you more gold, but making your shops more efficient is effectively more gold. And at 6 Yordle, you get 2 free rolls per round, which is a lot. This is 4 gold per round. Imagine instead of, if you're sitting on 50 gold slow rolling, it's kind of equivalent as if you're sitting on 90 gold interest. So really, really, really big. So I basically think the way you want to play Yordle is you want to get to level 6 and then kind of 3-star as much as you can. There are a lot of trait pairs within Yordle. I think Tristana, if I were to kind of play this game again, I might not go for Tristana because she doesn't have a trait pair. But Teemo and Ziggs are both long shots. Lulu and Vigar are both Arcanists. Um, Kennen and Rumble are both defenders. So I feel like I kind of want to play all these trait pairs. Uh, Kobuko and Yumi is a support unit, so I feel like I want to play this unit for sure. And then the last two options I have are Poppy and Fizz. Between them, I really kind of like Poppy because while I'm rolling for all these other 3-stars, I can go for Poppy. And just most of these units are, you generally don't need, backliners are not that strong without items. So I would rather have like a 3-star frontliner. So Poppy, I think, just makes a lot of sense here. Yeah, so now that I already lost. I didn't care too much about the combat power. I don't really mind for losing into neutrals. I'd rather win, of course, but you get a bit of extra econ. I killed a lot of units. Um, yeah. The unlock condition for Vigar, interestingly enough, is to have 2 death caps, which is actually really nice. I have Pandora's. I don't think I should have made this Jewel Gauntlet. I could have worked towards the unlock, but it's okay. I can just fix it later with Pandora's. And you can see some of these other ones are like pretty easy to unlock. Like Kennen field 8 unique levels. This is, you're just going to get this pretty easily. Actually, if I just fielded, I guess I couldn't have done it here, but if I upgrade any of these units, so then I'll unlock Kennen. With Kobuko, kind of same thing, very, very easy to unlock, but you need to be level 7. I want to level on interval 3-2 to level 6 as usual. Augment wise, I considered this Earths, which gives a spatula. However, I kind of looked at the Yordle trait and didn't really think there are that many Yordles I want to drop. There are 8 like pretty reasonable Yordles I want to play. I'm sure once I get better at the set, this would be good to replace one of my Yordles with something else. But I decided I didn't really need the spatula, so I decided I would just try out Know Your Enemy, which is similar to last set, but it also gives you future sight, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so now I'm just rolling on 6 for all my Yordles. I want to 3-star as many of them as possible. I do think you could maybe play this trait as a fast 8 and play 8 Yordle to get the grab bags right away. The grab bags, from what I can tell, can give you like a component or maybe like 10 gold in a round, which sounds like a lot, but of course you're committing an 8 trait into playing it. So I do think maybe you could play 8 Yordle, which would give you maybe a decent board on level 8, and then pivot out of it, use it to get some econ, kind of how people are using Crystal Gambit at 15 if they're from kind of a win streak position. But I think if you want to stay in Yordle, you definitely want to go for all these 3 stars. Last augment, I just wanted a team-wide combat augment. I have items. I don't need more econ. I just need something that makes my board stronger. One with Jewel Lotus. Still just kind of slow rolling 50 here, looking for all my Yordles. I am getting bench locks, so you kind of have to prioritize what you want to keep. Having to sell some at some points. Like right here, I sold Cannon Pair to hold the 8 Teemos. Yeah. Even though I'm 1 off of both of these, I don't feel the need to dig here because I don't have items for them anyway. So even if I were to hit Teemo 3 and Triss 3, it wouldn't make my board that much stronger. So I decided to keep my econ. If I had them itemized or I didn't have another carry, then I think digging and losing some econ would be good there. Once again, I have Pandora's. I think Yordle Spat doesn't do that much. I decided to go for Juggernaut Spat, which would give Juggernaut to my Poppy. It would also just give me another frontline item, which is kind of nice. Yeah. I also level to 7 on neutrals because with the unlock system, you unlock units at the end of the round based on what you fielded. So I have to be level 7 to unlock this. So I do it on neutrals so I can have him for the next round. And I also unlock Koboko and I also unlock Vigar because all of them have level 7 requirement and I just satisfied all the conditions at once. Pretty straightforward from this point. I went level 8, which gives me the Yordle grab bags. And the Yordle trait just gives all the Yordle so much combat power. At this point, I don't really need that much more econ, but I don't really think there's anything better to play. Also, each Yordle makes every other Yordle stronger, so I think it like just makes sense to play 8 Yordles if you're going down this line when you have the option. I unlocked a Kaisa. I don't entirely know how I did that, but it's not that big of a deal. Again, it's not gonna grief your shops too much because yes, I am gonna lose this 1 shop slot. Or wait, yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Normally, if you unlock a champion you don't want, you would lose 1 shop slot, but if you don't buy it, it's not gonna show up that much in your future shops. So here's the grab bag. I got a bow, so pretty nice. I decided to just immediately make a red buff. I know I already have Sunfire, but having AoE anti-heal is a lot better in the late game. I also just want the combat power immediately. So yeah, you can see my next grab bag here. I got, it looks like about, why'd I get 2 of them? Yeah, I'm not sure. Either way. Whoops. I click. Yeah. I don't know where both of these came from. Oh, one of them is a portal mechanic, I think, where it was like the top 4 get econ boost, and then the other is from my Yordle grab bag. Either way, I got about 10 gold from the Yordle grab bag. So by going level 9, which I did on neutrals, I unlocked Ziggs. I think the unlock condition for him is pretty simple if you're playing this line, but you do have to be level 9. Ziggs is a true trait pair with Teemo, so I want to play Ziggs Teemo. Lulu pairs with Vigar, that gives me long shot and Arcness with those. Cannon and Rumble give me Defender, and then I made the Juggernaut spat to kind of make my Rumble and Poppy stronger here. I do want to play Koboko as a support unit, so I feel like the unit that doesn't fit is Tristana. However, I have her 3 stars, so I'm just going to keep her at this point. But if I were to kind of play this line again, I might not go for Tristana. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's pretty much the end of how I play Yordle. I was definitely too slow. I want to use all my rolls here. There's no reason to save them. I just want to like upgrade my board as much as I can. Yeah, so this is kind of the final board I ended up on. I wasn't sure who the best unit to itemize was. I decided to go with the Ziggs, who is the 5 cost of the comp. End up losing to 4 Shurima. Personally, I think the 4 Shurima is too overpowered, but we'll have to go ahead and see how it plays out once the set is released. But 4 Shurima is kind of like a late game cash out trait, where if you can alternate winning rounds to unlock Xerath, and then also lose like a certain amount of rounds in a row to unlock Nasus, and win a certain rounds to unlock Renekton. It's basically a prismatic trait level. Renekton and Nasus are both 4 costs. And you see they both become 3 stars. Xerath is a 5 cost, becoming a 3 star. So basically like an auto win if you can unlock it. I feel like it's too easy to unlock. I've been seeing it win a lot of my playtest games, but yeah, we'll have to see how it plays on live. That's gonna wrap it up for this video on Yordle. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the Discord. And also, once again, if you want to hear more about just general thoughts about set 16 and its mechanic, check out my other video on Bilgewater. Thanks for watching.